welcome back to Pink Oddbird. If you're popping over here from the last video that I just posted where I received all of these wonderful items from the lovely Laura at the Papered Soul because I'm a part of her design team now, welcome back. And if you're just joining in to see what I can do with some of these supplies, welcome. So if you haven't checked out that last video and you're interested to see me talk about some of these items more in depth, check the description box below and I will link to where you can go back and look at these items and back to Laura's shop. So what I have in mind for some of these items that she sent me is Laura asked me to be able to come here and show you how I can use some of these items. So I'm going to just apply what I have here to current projects that I have going on. So what I'm planning to do is have a little series that will be maybe like 3 times a month, and it will be called Crafty Fix. I'm going to show you quickly ways that you can use some of these items. So maybe you have purchased some of these from, say, Laura's shop, and you're like, oh, what's a way that I can use these? Or maybe you're like, oh, I really want some of this trim, but how are some different ways that I can use it? So that's my objective with this. So if you're working on something, you need a quick idea, if you're wondering about how to use a certain supply, you can check out the Crafty Fix and quickly, like at a glance, get a quick tutorial on 1 to hopefully 3 different ways that you can use some items. So that is what I'm trying to, that's kind of what my aim is for this. So I know that sometimes you're working on something, you might get in a little rut. So I want you to be able to find something here on my channel that you're like, oh, hey, this is something fast I can just take a quick look at, and then you can take your time and work on it and modify it to how it'll work best in your book. I am doing it that way is because I know that some of you like shorter videos sometimes, but I try to have a good mix of short videos, medium videos, and long videos on my channel so everyone gets a little bit of what they enjoy watching, just a quick way to see how you can use some of these. So let's take a look at what we can do. So if you guys do decide to use any of these ideas that I show you, or you want to share it with me, be sure to either tag me on Instagram or use hashtag PinkOddbird so that I can actually go in and find those tags and see what you're up to. All right, let's get started. All right, so I've gone ahead and cleared off my workspace. These are the items that I've selected to work with. And like I was saying just a moment ago, I just picked out a couple of items. I want to be able to come in and show you from 1 to 3 ways that you can use some of these items that you can find in the Papered Soul's Etsy shop. So today I'm going to make 2 items for you. So let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to grab a couple of supplies and then we'll start making these items. Okay, so I'm going to set this little bundle aside and we're going to work on this first. So I have my little tag that you can pick up in Laura's shop, and then she's also got these little stamped pieces of muslin, and then I have my guest check here, and then my baker's twine that's rose gold. So I'm gonna take my purple, my wild violet distress ink, and the first thing I'm gonna do is distress around my tag. So it has that nice little purple vibe and lightly on the back. Next, I'm going to do the same thing to my guest check just so that everything blends together. So there we have that. And I'm going to take this little piece here, and I have this little scrap template that I was using. So what I'm going to just do is, instead of throwing that away, I'm going to add my glue stick here and then back this little muslin piece just like that. Okay. You can leave it just like this, but to add an extra element to mine, I'm going to stitch around this really quick and I'll be right back. So does anyone want to guess who forgot to press record when I got done sewing this? So what I did for this piece is I took that piece of muslin that we backed on the cardstock and I glued it down here on the page, or on the guest check. And then what I did was I decided to use this little tag. I added an eyelet in on the tag and I topped it with some of that crinkled trim, and then I just wrapped around this little tag the gold baker's twine, and then I topped it with a little button so it tucks in just behind here. And then with that, all I did was add it to a paper clip inside of the book. Okay, so all right, so these are the items that we have here. So again, I'm going to kind of start off the same way. I'm going to try and slightly distress this little bag. And these are really neat because if you wanted to, you could leave these plain and just journal on the front of them about what you might be putting inside this bag or on the same page as this bag. So that's pretty neat too. Let's grab another eyelet here. We have another turquoise, so that's perfect. Oh, actually, first, I want to do one thing. It is an optional step, but I do want to show it because if you have a sewing machine, you can do this also. All right, so as you can see, what I have done is I've delicately, lightly stitched around the perimeter of this little bag, and I did it very carefully and very close to the edge. That way you still get a neat little decorative stitch look on here, and you don't compromise the space that's inside of the bag for whatever you want to put inside of here. Punch my hole here in this bag. Again, I'm going to do it in the very lower corner because I don't want to compromise too much space. Okay, now that we've got the eyelet in there, I'm going to come back in with some of this trim here. I want to take a little bit of the turquoise, and the same for the purple. I want to bring these into my little eyelet. And then here you can just tie them in a little knot or a little bow. So you can leave it dangly like this, or you can just take it up into a little bow. So as you can see here, I've just tied each ribbon into a little bow. You can do it just like that also. Gives it a cute little look. And then I'm going to grab some of my eyelash trim here from the papered sole. And I'm just going to cut off a bit of this. And I am going to layer this just like this here. And then I'm going to dab it with some glue so it stays put. And then I'm going to take my little crochet flower and apply a little glue to the back of this. Sorry, I'm doing this off camera. It's going to stick the flower down right on top of that eyelash trim, just like that. So, as you can see, this gives you another cute little embellishment, and you can still have space to journal on this cute little bag. So what I want to do with this, grab my book. So there's our other embellishment. Alright, so I think I found a page here. All I've added to this page is a little bit of washi, but if you kind of overlap this over that, you still bring in some of the pink from the flower, and then of course the pink on the background page. So I think this is a good home for this. Now you have a couple of choices here. You can glue around this so that you have a tag spot behind this little bag as well as the spot that's inside of the bag, or you can glue it in a reverse L shape, and that will give you another tuck spot here on the side. So, or you can glue it all the way down. It's totally up to you, but let's go ahead and attach this to the page. Okay, so I've just decided to glue mine all the way down, and then you'll note that since we do have this embellishment here on this side, it's good to keep it towards the right of your page and towards the bottom so that the little fringy bits can show when you close the book, so you have another little element of fringe there. So those are our two pieces. Here's the first, and now you have a nice big place where you can stick something and you can still journal on here. So that's really awesome. And then we have our other piece that we've added back here just with a paper clip, just like that. So I hope you guys have enjoyed watching this Crafty Fix. I hope that you guys will use some of these ideas and check out Laura's shop as well. She is the Papered Soul on Etsy, and just like this is how her shop is spelled. And I will link all of her pertinent details in the description box below. So I just want to thank you guys all for being here. This is really fun. I'm looking forward to using up these supplies in different ways inside of my books, and I hope you guys will join me for that process. So that's going to wrap it up for me for now. Be sure to stay tuned because you never know what direction this odd flock of ours is heading into. And until next time, toodaloo.